It's an honor to be here as a part of this very special, very, very special service. And it does depict unity and world for each of us. And for me personally, had it not been for a friend of mine, Miss Jackson, who said, "Are you still going through this issue with your home?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Can you come over to Shiloh Baptist Church tomorrow morning?" And I did, and I got there, and Congressman Ellison was speaking, and others were reflecting on how their homes had been saved as a result of being involved with an organization called NCRC and Jewish Community Action. And that's when I met Dave Snyder, and I met Marin, and I thought, I really can fight this thing. And together we began moving through this process. I was devastated. I'd been in my home almost 20 years. My husband passed away suddenly. He was diagnosed with cancer like August, and by November he was gone. And like many people, we didn't have insurance in place because we think we've got time for that. And then I struggled along, making those payments, and I was laid off from my job a while back. And that's when I couldn't make payments, and I started notifying the mortgage company, City Mortgage, and said, this is what's happening. And they said, well, you need to be X number of months behind. So I did end up getting employment. I was able to make my payments, and so they're working with me, I'm thinking, and at the same time, my house was sold. And I called Dave. I was just distraught. I said, what? Did they call you all? Did they let you know? And he said, no. What you are a victim of is something called dual tracking. I'd never heard of it. And what that means is, on one hand, the bank is saying, yeah, we're considering you for modification. But on the other hand, they sell your house. And so the fight began. It revved up. And along the way, NCRC's been there, Jewish Community Action's been there. We have marched. Jewish Community Action's always been there. NCRC always been there. We have had all of these rallies. And then Occupy Minnesota joined. And so the next thing we know, we're out here marching and we're doing more rallies and we're just raising it up, and still, time is moving on. The next thing I knew, we were in eviction court the day after Christmas. And that did definitely put a halt to things because I had a room full of supporters. And many of them, I'm standing here rather, looking at their faces, were right there. So city said, all right, we're gonna push this out a little bit, and they did. And we thought, sure, that now we're gonna move into this. And that's been several months already, and we're still hanging out here waiting for modification to be approved. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm now in what I would call double dual tracking. So then a bill, we're moving Mike Freiberg there in my community of Golden Valley, really pushing this from the goodness of his heart. And this bill, here we are, made it through a couple of committees, and then, so now, where are we? We're still fighting. We're still fighting. And I believe firmly that I have to do that because it's not just for me. Dual tracking is something that should not happen to anybody. We have paid so much, as taxpayers to help the government, help the banks. And when I think about the fact that I've been in my home almost 20 years, well, hasn't it been paid for technically? So here we are with all of these things that we have to fight for, that you've heard so many of them. The Capitol has been busy right now, but we have to continue to be busy with it. So I just want to share a little chant because for me, all that I'm hearing today, it just reminds me of why I keep doing this. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried and go home to my Lord and be free. Thank you.